Well, I made it. You can see the cactuses behind me here. We're in Arizona at the moment. Extreme Benchrest 2016. Really glad to be here. It's been an absolute blast. It's finals day today, and I actually haven't been doing any filming over the last few days. Maybe just pulling out the camera, doing one or two quick pieces, but I've been trying to absorb the whole environment and just get a feel of how everything is, and obviously do some shooting as well. So I'm taking out the camera pretty much for the first time today, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of coverage of what's happening on finals day. Now, before we even get started with this little report back video, I want to say that if you are here to watch a comprehensive overview of what the competition's all about and exactly what went down, this is probably not the video you want to watch. There have been guys here that have been filming absolutely everything, getting perfect coverage of everything, flying their drones over the range, and they're going to probably cover the event more comprehensively than me. So I'm going to put links down in the video description so you can watch their videos first. But if you want to just hear my perspective of how things went down, then you can continue watching. Now, day one actually started off with the speed silhouette and the field target, and I actually progressed to the finals round of speed silhouette, which I can't say I was extremely surprised, but I'm definitely very grateful to be there because it could have definitely gone either way. I had quite a few fumbles, but thankfully we get 3 chances to kind of get the best possible time, and I sneaked in there. So I'm in the finals. I'll be shooting in a few hours time, and I'm really looking forward to that. But the highlight of my day one was actually the field target, surprisingly, and I wasn't even signed up for the field target. I rocked up here, and when I received my tags, which tell you what events you're in, I discovered that that I had been signed up, not against my will, but I'd been signed up for field target without really, saying that I wanted to do it. And I was trying to decide, should I do it, shouldn't I do it? I've never really done field target before, and eventually I said, oh well, let's give it a try. And I did the full course, and I think I ended up doing pretty well. We haven't seen the final results yet, but just hearing from the guys along the course who did the scoring, they said I should be doing fairly well compared to everyone else. So, regardless of the scoring, I had such a fun time with the field target. It's not your typical field target where you're limited to, the power that your gun can put out, and you have to do all the ranging yourself. You get given the range and you have unlimited power on your guns. And a lot of people say, oh, it's such a spoiler to have field target like that, stick to the original rules. But I would actually completely disagree with that. I think it's limiting the other way around, because field target shooters who do the more traditional field target have to purchase a separate gun for their hunting, for their field target. You've got all these heavy restrictions on you. You've got to put that giant scope if you want to do the ranging properly, and you can't really use the same gun if you want to go out and do some pest control or some hunting. So I prefer this way, the American way, where you can use your hunting rifle, come straight out here and shoot the field target course with the same scope and the same setup. And to be honest, I don't think it's unrealistic for them to give you the range, because what would you do in a hunting situation? You'd pull out a rangefinder, you'd range the animal, and you'd take the shot. In fact, I would go as far as to say that it's actually irresponsible to shoot an animal without ranging it first. So I'm pretty happy with the rules they have here, and I think this is the future.
I'm gonna have some misses in field target. Absolutely. Yeah.
I did also take place in the 25-meter bench rest, and that was the event that I expected to kind of do the best in out of all the disciplines, because that's the distance that I kind of shoot the most back at home. I've got a 25-meter range that I do a lot of my sight-ins in, a lot of just making sure the gun's zeroed, a bit of practicing, and I only on very rare occasions go out and do long-range hunting or shoot groups at long range. So I was all set up for the 25-meter, and I was doing all right, but I screwed up big time on the last card. I kind of lost concentration, and I put 3 shots in one of my targets, thinking it was a sighter. And that's a 20-point deduction, so that really completely put me out of the game, and my scores weren't great at all. So I kind of wanted to forget about the 25-meter, and my focus now is on the 75 yards. I want to see what I can do. I've qualified for the finals, so I'll be shooting the finals in a few hours for the 75. But I've learned a lot, just shooting 2 cards. one thing I've learned is that the wind plays a much bigger part than you expect. You know, it doesn't matter if you've got the most accurate gun out there. Maybe it would in a windless situation, because then it'll come down to whose gun is most likely to get, you know, on that bullseye. But in wind like this, you know, you can have the most accurate gun out there, but if you can't read the wind, if you can't hold that gun still, that's useless. I've got a very good gun this year. I'm shooting a 30 caliber FX Impact that is just, you know, in windless conditions, I was shooting under an inch all day long. Groups under an inch, and it's just like, that gun's a laser. But that's going to count for nothing because this wind is swirling around. This range is known for having some pretty dramatic turbulence. You know, you can't look at someone's flags 4 lanes down because they might be totally different to what the wind is doing on your lane. And, you know, the flags might show you how the wind is blowing from side to side or what direction it's blowing, but it doesn't tell you about the updrafts and the downdrafts, and those are the ones that can get you. When I shot yesterday, on some of the shots, I had to hold 1.5 mil more than I was on previous shots because of a ridiculously strong downdraft, which is just insane. And if I wasn't holding for the downdraft, I would have shot completely off the target. So it's hectic out there, it's crazy. But I'm expecting to, you know, just go out there, do my best. I'm not expecting to even get in the top 10, to be honest. I just sneaked into the final by having 2 more X's than the other person who was on the same score as me, and I just sneaked into the final. So I'm just going to wing it and see how I do. But regardless, it's going to be a lot of fun. I have a feeling Ted Beer is going to take it this year. He's kind of been flying under the radar the last few years. But this year he's got his game face on. He's put like 20,000 shots through his rifle in preparation for today. And he's been doing very well over the last few days. I think he top scored yesterday. He's right at number 1 at the moment. And if he doesn't take the win, I'll be fairly surprised. He's really put in the time, and I think he probably deserves it. I definitely don't deserve it. I haven't put in any preparation, but we'll see how it goes. Enough talking, let's get out there.
So let's see how the finals went, shall we? This was my card from the final round, and remember, the finals are shot at 100 yards instead of 75. It definitely wasn't easy out there, and I was definitely taught a lesson about holding for wind. I made the mistake of trying to wait the wind out instead of just going for it, and unfortunately the wind picked up immensely as time ticked on, and on the last row the downdraft was so violent that I was holding 2.5 mils higher than I was on the first row, and the pellets were still striking low. Now the guys that got the highest scores in the final actually finished very, very quickly, some of them within 5 minutes, and in hindsight I should have done the same. But regardless, I ended up finishing in 13th place overall, and I'm actually very happy with that. It's more or less where I expected to be, and next time I'll be a little bit more prepared. And as I predicted, Ted ended up winning the whole thing quite convincingly. I think it was a well-deserved win, and hopefully Sniper QTY will stop talking rubbish about the smooth twist barrels now. I had plenty of fun in the Speed Silhouette finals. I shot in the open class, which meant I could use a preloaded magazine, and I actually ended up taking 3rd place. Nothing was a match for the Impacts in this class. In fact, the Impacts ended up taking the win in all 3 classes, and I was just very grateful to be able to take a medal home.
There's a lot more to the Extreme Benchrest than just winning. It's a social event. You get to talk to people that are like-minded, who have the same interest. You can learn from other people. It's not one of those, you know, keep quiet or we're going to kick you out of the range competitions. You have opportunities all the time to walk around and talk to people. It's an extremely social event, and I would say this is probably the premier shooting competition or airgun shooting competition in the world at the moment. And one of the best parts for me has just been that, you know, making connections with other shooters that have the same interests as me. So that's a basic overview of you know, the way I've seen things over the past few days. But enough talking, let's get out there and let's get to the finals.